you ready to roll, fam? I mean, I don't know to say, like, welcome home.
I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go.
Been?
Yeah, I take the welcome home, man. I'm doing well. It's been a blessing to have the show have aired, man. It's been a lot of emotion, a lot of craziness.
It's everything, right?
I mean, I love it at the same time. It's everything. Yeah.
Oh, by the way, y'all,
Really
if you haven't tapped into Netflix just yet, I'm pretty sure that you have, since we have so much spare time on our hands right now. Sharron Townsend, he's one of the breakout stars. I'm gonna say the breakout star. Too hot to handle on Netflix.
Yeah.
Bro, you came in the house like the first one. We followed your story, quite a bit, and I guess let's go back to straight up like how this all started. Like, when did you apply? How was the application process? And let's just go there from the jump start, man.
All right, cool. So to take it back a little bit, so I actually was on backstage.com.
Okay.
It's a website for castings and all of that good stuff.
Yeah, because you were on a reality show before. You were on an MTV show back in the day, right?
Yeah, I was on MTV's Undressed.
Yeah.
Where I go on a date. I went on dates in my underwear. So it was cool. So my little jump kind of like was a little weird, but so I was on that show, and ironically, to take it all back, I used to be a funny looking kid. Like, people used to be like, "Oh, he looked funny. He looked like Jordan from the Bernie Mac show." So I was a little bit insecure growing up. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so then,
I understand.
When my ex did all of that, I was just like, "All right, look, man, like." I got a little bit of muscles to me. You see what I'm saying? The beard started growing in. I thought you know what I'm saying?
You swolled up for the wrestling part of your life.
Right. So I put it on a little bit. So that was my first show. And actually she turned me down on the show.
Wow.
Yeah, so it was weird. But fast forward, I came across this casting on Backstage, and all it said was Untitled Dating Show.
That's it.
And it said, yeah, that's all it was. And it had like a little island with like a palm tree in the sunshine.
He took
it said,
"Yep, sign me the hell up."
Right. So where do I put my name at? So, and it basically asked, it said, "Are you single? Are you trying to enjoy a holiday in a remote location with a bunch of beautiful singles?" And I was like, "Yo, that's right. That's literally right down my alley."
That's
like,
me.
Come on. I applied. They gave me a questionnaire, filled it out. The Skype interviews and all of that good stuff. Fast forward, they flew me out to LA to meet with the casting director. So when I got out there, they loved me. And
at that point in time, I don't mean to cut you off, but at that point in time, did it really start to sink in that, like, yo, this is about to be something that's going to not only happen for me, it's going to be a fun experience. And I'm guessing at that point, it maybe didn't click all the way that this was going to change your life. But that's where the butterflies start happening, right?
Right. Yeah. So I'm like, yo, this is like, it's really happening, right? Like, when you finally start meeting the people, you're like, all right, like, I'm one step closer. And then, like, they still hadn't told us what network it was for. They didn't really tell us the premise. All they kept saying, it was like, we want to see your personality. Make sure you're as fun as you are, like, on Skype. Left there, I want to say probably a week and a half later, they told me, it's like, hey, you got accepted onto the show.
Wow.
They told you what shots to go get. They told you what paperwork, renew your passport, but they didn't tell you where you were going.
Man.
So it got down to it. My mom was like, all right, look, this is a little weird. Like, they're telling you,
you know what? When that parental instinct kicks in, she was probably like, "What if they take my baby?"
And that's right. I'm her baby, so she ain't playing all that. So my mom like, "You about to not go? Like, they ain't telling you where you going, what type of show does that. They don't give you no inside scoop." Or I was like, "Look, Mom, I'm out. Like, wherever they say I'm going, I'm going."
I'm there.
And then we found out it was Mexico. Give y'all a little funny story. Before I got there, so the whole night I couldn't sleep. Like, I'm like, yo, I'm about to go to Mexico.
Yeah.
I still don't know what to expect. So I had surgery prior. I had surgery a few years ago.
Oh, man.
So on my knee from wrestling, I tore my ACL. So I put my leg brace back on and got wheeled through the airport. Like, I was like, I need a shortcut. I was so tired. I was just like, yo, like, I know. Look, the handicaps and all that. Like, the old folks, like, they get the privilege.
They get the straight priority.
Right. They get the straight right to the gate. So I put the brace back on. They wheeled me to the gate, and I was like, "Oh, we here!" Like, when I got to Mexico, I was like, "Yo," and then it really, like, they told us what network it was for, but they still hadn't told us the premise of the show.
Yeah. And now this is going back a full year, right? I mean, you guys had filmed, you
Yeah,
had participated. This has already been done in April of 2019. So as you're
yeah.
sitting on these stories, before we really dive into like what the experience was like, as you're sitting on these stories and you're thinking that, man, I'm gonna have to relive these at some point in time, and just jump into now. How strange is it to really bring your mind back to a full year ago and to see everything just play out?
And it's actually crazy because now rewatching it, sometimes you can put yourself back in that feeling. Like those
Yeah,
feelings still come back, and like you still, it's kind of as if you're doing it all over again. So
yeah,
like
dude.
some of those scenes, it still evoke the same emotions. Maybe not to the same extent, but you start feeling them same emotions, like the different workshops we were doing.
Yeah,
I still like how mad I was, like just and seeing my face, like your face would tell it all. Like
for
my
sure, for
face,
sure.
like when I was looking at some of these scenes, I'm like, yo, that's the face. Like I knew I was really involved. Like I was
Yeah.
like all the way in.
And when you're in it, you don't quite understand the magnitude of what's really going on. So to just give everybody, if you haven't seen the show, a quick, roundup on what exactly it is, you guys, the most beautiful people on earth, put in a gorgeous location and told that there is no way that you can act upon these sexual impulses that are sure to happen.
Right.
So when the house guests, or when the resort mates started to make their way, one by one, you're seeing the beautiful women, you're seeing the beautiful dudes even. What are you thinking in your mind in that moment before you do fully understand what the premise of the show is?
So I actually was the second person out. So I was so nervous on the way out.
Yeah.
I walked the wrong way. Like I got lost. Like I went down somewhere I wasn't even supposed to. I don't know where I was at. They were calling me like Sharron.
Yeah,
Like
you over there hanging with the
yeah, like
iguanas,
yeah,
bro. Turn
outside
around.
with the iguanas. I'm like yeah. But I was that nervous. But it was cool. Like um, it was definitely cool. When I got out there, Chloe was the first one out there. So
Yeah.
I was just like, all right, like I didn't know how many other people it was going to be. I didn't know really much of anything. You see what I'm saying? So it's just
Yeah.
like, just beautiful people. I saw Chloe and I'm like, yo, like God, and she had an accent. So I'm like, this is really like, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This is real life lit.
Yeah.
Like, so I'm like, all right, she looked as good. Imagine what the rest of the contestants. You see what I'm saying? Like, it got to be just as good, or like, you see what I'm saying? So I already had a high expectation for what was to come.
Yes.
Um,
Yeah,
and
and when
then
it does start off just like that, and you are, initially, I mean, that's what we're watching the show for, is that initial. We're seeing these beautiful people. We're seeing you as one of the most gorgeous people on the island, or on that part of the resort as well. What was it difficult to, first off, tame those feelings, or were you just ready to just let loose, like you were saying the first initial couple of confessionals?
Man, I was ready to let loose, bro. I came there with the mindset I'm about to wild out. Like,
Yeah.
yo, they brought the wrong one. Like, you talking about beautiful people on the island? Nah, I said, yo, I'm about to wild out. So when I got there, it was just like I said, I was like a kid in a candy store. Like, and they kept coming. Like, I was like,
Yes.
like, yo, it's getting better and better. So,
And when that starts to happen, and you really start to let your mind go in that particular direction, but then here comes Lana, and she's a little machine in the corner of the room that laid down the law, that said that there was going to be no touching, there was going to be no X, Y, and Z. How far down did your heart drop when you heard that initial damn? Like, what did that feel like for you?
bro, to my toes. My heart dropped to my toes. I was like, it really felt like it was a joke. You see what I'm saying? At the same time, I think, like, because I've never seen anything like it. So,
Yeah.
I've never seen a reality show where they say, oh, y'all can't do any. You see what I'm saying? So, I thought it was kind of like a joke to see how we were going to react. But then I realized, like, this was real. I'm like, bro, y'all brought us here. You brought me here to do what? Like, you see what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
I could
Yeah,
have done
dude.
this. Like, if I really wanted to be like abstinent or something like that, I could have did this at home. You see what I'm saying? Like
I could have
I could have just
tried
been here.
maybe
Right,
at
I could
one
have
point.
tried at home, right? Or I could have just told, if y'all would have told me this up front, I would have told y'all no. You see what I'm saying? Like, I
Yeah.
would have been like, thank you for the opportunity. I'm a pass. But so yeah, it was just like when we got introduced to Lana, I'm just like, bro, like, are you
Yeah, this is
serious?
when
You see what I'm saying?
it
Like,
got real. It got
yeah,
real. And I want to talk about that transformation, or that journey. Clearly the underlying theme of Too Hot to Handle was watching the personal growth, watching the relationship growth that's clearly, again, just a lot deeper than the first initial physical attraction. So
right.
as you start to really let your mind go there, it's tough, as you were being so forthright with all of your emotions and your feelings, and we're watching this play out. Take us through that process, man. Like, what was it for you when you started to think that, like, it's time for me to step up and to be a bigger man, not necessarily a better man, maybe, but just be a bigger or a stronger version of myself?
So it was kind of like, and I think Rhonda had already touched me from like, I mean, obviously you'll meet somebody, and if you've had a bad experience in the past, you're gonna try to, even if you're feeling a certain emotion, you're gonna try to not let that emotion show. That, so that's kind of
Yeah,
how it was. Like, I knew I'm like, yo, she's gorgeous, cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, we had interacted for a little bit, but I'm like, over the couple days, I'm like, yo, like, I'm really like, I'm liking this girl. You know what I'm saying? Because
yeah,
we can't physically do anything. So like, the only option is to get to know her deeper. You see what I'm saying? So
yeah.
at that point, I'm just like, all right.
Yeah, were you sold once you started to, like, in the idea, the concept? Once you realized what was really going down, obviously with loads of different temptations, and they're throwing all kinds of random scenarios at you all. Were you really sold, or did it quite honestly take a lot more inner strength than we probably even got to see on the TV
No,
screen?
it definitely took a lot more inner strength. I
Yeah,
don't think, I mean, from watching it, it's like, yo, and it doesn't sound that hard to a lot of people. Like, oh, all you guys have to do is, and people, a lot of people try to compare it to what we're going through now. Like, it's
yeah,
not the same thing. You see what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
we're courting, but it's not the same as having so much temptation. You see what I'm saying? It's like
And having
being
it be so easily available.
right there. Yeah, like, it's
Yeah.
right there. It's like a kid going trick or treating, and the candy's right there, and it's like, oh no, don't you see what I'm saying? Like, no, like,
Yeah.
um,
Now, let's talk a little bit about the relationship that you formed, man. It became it's a hashtag. Did
yeah.
you know Sharonda was going to be something that was going to be trending?
No, I actually didn't. So Rhonda and I, we actually joked about it one time. While we were on the show, it was like, oh, Sharonda, like, that's a cool little cute name,
Yeah,
whatever. But never in a million years did we think that it would have been trending worldwide, like Sharonda, and like, you see what I'm saying? Like, and not that we thought about TV when we were doing it, but
yeah,
it's just like, we were being us. But who would have known that it would have become something so special to so many people? You see what I'm
yeah.
saying? Like, we're there for personal growth, but to
Yeah,
us,
that's what I was going to
to
say.
the
I mean, you're
world,
going there clearly knowing it's going to be a television show, but once you start to kind of make that transformation, did you ever lose the idea and the fact that there were cameras roaming around capturing
yeah,
everything?
yeah, yeah. Because you just get so. I mean, and there's a lot of things that a lot of people don't want to do, but I mean, you start to forget. It's like that just becomes your home. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like, you stop knowing that there's cameras around. You stop thinking about everything else that's going on, and you just like, I'm just living. Like, I'm at that point. You're being you. You see what I'm saying? You're not worried about the cameras because
for
you
sure.
adjust. Yeah, you just adjust. So,
Now we're going to
um,
take a little right-hand turn into some of your castmates, some of your now friends, I'm sure, as you all maybe or try to stay in touch in these crazy times now. But in that moment, when you're watching this other relationship progress and it's costing you money, what the hell were you thinking when Frankie and Harry were off, quite literally blowing your bread, bro?
so initially, I'm not gonna lie. So I came, and I never blame anybody. You see what I'm saying? Because when I came there, I came with the mindset, forget the money. I
Yeah,
walked in here broke. I'm gonna leave broke.
yeah,
So I didn't feel no type of way initially for him costing his money. You see what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
not one point in time that I'm like, yo, why are you doing that? Like, that wasn't my mindset. But then initially, and I started to look at Harry's like the little brother, like the little brother you have to mentor, because he was younger than all of us there. So
yeah, man.
the mistakes that he was making, yeah, he was making it and it was costing us, but they are mistakes that we probably would have made when we were his age, or we did make when we were his age. So I was a little bit more understanding when it came to it. But like, I mean, I didn't.
But if you really let the dollar amount get to your brain, I'm sure that there would have been a lot more eruptions and explosive fights I mean, because like you said, you were able to put yourself in that position and know
Yeah,
and
yeah,
think as a bigger person, which goes along with the growth that you are all making, where it's like, man, as much as I want to go and toss this fool in the middle of the damn ocean, I can understand at this
yeah,
moment in
yeah,
time.
yeah.
Yeah,
I can
we're all there.
understand, but I mean, it was a time. It was a time where I also thought, like, man, he's spending all his money, like that could, you see what I'm saying? Like, where it passes your mind at some point, like, he's spending all that money that I could have been spending, but I'm trying to be better. So why he's not trying to be better? You see what I'm
Yeah,
saying? But
yeah,
at the end of
yeah.
the day, yeah, yeah.
at the end of the day, you guys were all there to find your own personal journey. And it was super crazy for me to binge watch what you guys lived through and what you lived through in a full month or so in a matter of, man, like y'all had me hooked like 3 days, dude. Like,
yeah, I appreciate it. But and it's weird that like you want people to change when you change. You see what I'm saying? But like when I came and I was like, man, F the money. I can't be mad that now I started to transform into this new Sharron, and his mind is still where it was. You see what I'm saying? Like,
for sure.
Because like I said, no one could tell me anything if I came and I was like, yo, you see what I'm saying? Like, it was not nobody could tell me. So it was just like one of those.
Well, no, I understand. I understand it. I mean to cut you off, but I also want to just swing back to, a little bit to your relationship and some of the ups and downs and some of the, some of the journey that we were, that you were so, fortunate enough to understand that this was going to be something that was going to be televised and it was going to be your journey. Walls had to come down. You grew in, I'm sure, ways that you probably can't even explain, but one of the other
things, we grew.
Facts. But now, on a deeper note, I mean, when you and Rhonda were really kind of starting to, connect on that next level, and she introduced you for that little brief time that we got to share with you all, her son. What did that mean to you, just as someone who at that point in time, and I'm gonna get to this question later, as the boyfriend in the situation?
Yeah. So it was shocking, but it wasn't. It wasn't shocking because when you start to think about how well she handled every situation and how well she adjusted to everything I was putting her through, like she was so patient, she was so understanding, she was just like everything, like she was nurturing, you see what I'm saying? So when she broke the news that she had a kid, it was like, okay, it was like, it was a shock, but it makes sense. Like, yo, you had to learn that somewhere. You see what I'm saying? Like, that's not really qualities that you're just born with. Like you may be born to a certain level. Yeah, you may have patience, but as patient, like when I'm telling her, like, yo, we never gonna be anything. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's just like, yo, that patient, because if a girl told me that, and I was, if the roles were reversed and I was Rhonda, I'm like, I'm out of here. You see what I'm saying? But like,
totally.
For her to stick around. So when she told me she had a kid, it wasn't a surprise. And like I said, my mom is a single parent of 6 boys.
Yeah.
So like, I got the utmost respect for women, and for parents, single parents at that. You see what I'm saying? So like when she told me, it was like some of the strongest women I know are parents. You see what I'm saying? Single mom.
Yeah. No,
So
I mean,
like,
it does. It like you said, it kind of clicks, and it's like, oh, now I understand. Because I mean, not to put it in a situation to with anything with you, but it's like at that time, you maybe were feeling for yourself. I'm acting a little bit childish.
Right. Exactly.
I'm not necessarily in my my best mindset now. So now it makes sense why she was willing to stick with me, to help me grow the same way that she's nurturing this little guy here.
Right.
Grow up to be an amazing, an amazing young man when he gets to be, older.
Exactly.
So, Sharron, bro, $1 million question, but a lot of us can do a proper Google search and maybe dig in between the lines on some things, but what's the relationship status now, dude?
All right. I mean, it's out there. We're not together. And there's many reasons behind it. And I mean, one of it is just distance, man. It was just,
it's got to be tough because
she lives in Atlanta.
That's what I was gonna say. Just even the fact of what we're going through right now.
Yeah, right. So I mean, as much as we was trying and things, but I was working 3 jobs. Like my mom's a single parent. I'm the breadwinner of my family. So it was like taking care of my little brother who's in college, getting his degree, helping my mom. You see what I'm saying? I lost my grandma to breast cancer. So it was like a lot of things would hit me. And not that I was closing out, not intentionally was I closing her out, but it was just like, yo, like I kind of reverted back to what I knew. You see what I'm saying? Like, I'm a better person, but it's also easy for me to still like, yo, when things are going wrong, close off.
And at the time, not necessarily even that, but at the time, there are some things that you have to prioritize. And being someone who is so focused on family, it's a very important. It's what you learn to really step up and to be a man in that particular situation.
Right.
So I'm assuming, and I mean, even hearing the way that you're still speaking about how amazing Rhonda is, I mean, it's not a love that is going to go away just like that. I mean, it's just impossible.
Yeah, definitely. No, and like, I will never say Sharonda is done. You see what I'm saying?
For sure.
Like the connection is still, the bond is always going to be there. You see what I'm saying? What's to come in the future, we don't know. We
Oh
can't tell
yeah,
the future, but
and I'll tell you, the two of y'all, you had the world talking when you guys are putting down and removing messages on Instagram, dog.
look, man, but I mean,
I
honestly, like
understand.
she's been a blessing. And
Yeah,
I can't. There's nothing I can take away from her. I mean, I can only let people know what's facts. You see what I'm saying? Like, she's an amazing person, and unfortunate if distance or if things were a little bit different, then yeah, we.
it
But
could
like
have
I said,
things could play out for
we
sure.
had plans of visiting each other still. Like, although we had we split up, like we still had that same connection. We talk every day. You see what I'm
That's
saying? Like
dope. That's
so there's
dope.
nothing really changed besides, and I mean, people still want to refer to us as Sharonda. That's cool in my eyes. That's cool in her
Yeah,
eyes. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's still a cool connection that we had. And
that
if
you're
we can
forever gonna
motivate
have.
people, yeah, and we're right, we're forever going to have. So if people can relate to that, and we can inspire people or motivate people in one way or another, like, let's do it. You see what I'm saying? It's all about bettering the community, bettering people's lives, and
100%.
yeah.
100%, man. As we get ready to wind things down a little bit, man, this has been like one of the coolest things for me. I mean, being a Jersey dude, you're in Camden right now. Things have
Yeah.
definitely. I mean, I'm watching the Instagram numbers just grow. You know, what I mean, things have
Appreciate
been
that. Yeah.
things have been going really, really dope, and it's really cool for me to meet you this way and to really get to know your story and get to know, that not only was I seeing somebody on television who was going through a progression, but that wasn't fake, man. So to people who think of reality TV as a fake scenario, as oh, you're not the same when you're dead. How would you kind of respond to people like that? How real is reality TV in your experience?
I mean, I mean, and I can say this is just like every emotion that you guys saw was real. From me getting
Yeah,
upset, like everybody that has watched the show can hands down say, "Yo, that's you." You see what I'm saying? There's no script to it. It's
none at
me.
all.
Like, you're gonna express the way you feel. You see what I'm saying? And it's just as real as that. Like, I mean, a lot of people just, I don't know. Like, there's no
You
way to
can't
put
fake
it,
it.
because people are always, yeah, you can't fake it, but people are always going to speculate and have an opinion on you see what I'm saying? Especially now that the news has dropped that we're not together. So
Yeah,
was it
yeah,
fake?
yeah.
That's the
You
first thing
can't you
people will
can't
say.
fake
Oh,
it.
so was it fake? But no, it's not fake, man. It's just, like I said, if things could be different, it would be.
Yeah, no, I
And
feel you on that, bro. Lastly, as we saw your journey, as we saw the story play out, as we saw Lana bust a lot of y'all in the house, I do want to know, and this has been the burning question for me, were there some things that she probably didn't see?
no. Yo, when I say when I say when I say Lana has eyes, Lana has eyes, bruh. Lana has eyes.
There
Like,
was no
I
sneaking
mean,
around
and
nothing at
it's
all.
crazy because it was things like, and even yeah, it's like Lana has eyes everywhere. Like, even you see it, like the shower scene. There's like, she's everywhere. Lana has eyes. And it was stuff that I didn't know, and I don't even know. And now, even thinking about it, I don't even know if, like, the scene between Francesca and Harry, that in the bedroom, I don't even know if Lana, like, I didn't even remember that. You see what I'm saying? Like, so Lana saw some stuff that we didn't see. So I'm like,
She's
oh,
on some CIA stuff right
right,
now.
CIA. That's the middle of the night. People think they was slick because it's dark in there. Yeah, Lana
Oh
has
man,
eyes. So I mean, that's
dude.
all yeah, Lana has eyes.
That's
Lana
what's
has
up.
eyes.
Well, again, man, I just want to say this has been really cool, man, to make a new friend. I know we're in a crazy situation where we're doing this social distancing and where we're separate, but we're connecting. And
Yeah,
a lot of people are connecting to your story because, I mean, it's one of the top trending shows on earth right now, dude, quite
yeah.
honestly. And super brave of you to even want to, dive in and be vulnerable to what could happen on a resort in Mexico and be willing to let cameras roll. So that right there takes a hell of a lot of courage. And thanks, man, for being willing to share our story. And I'm sure you're super grateful that it was this type of a show to help you grow and become a better man right now.
Right. Definitely. And one thing I can say is that, like I said, I'm grateful for the opportunity, and I feel like everything happens when it's supposed to be. Like, I'm
Yeah.
getting older, like in age. You see what I'm saying? I can't be wilding out for the rest of my life, or still holding on to burdens from the past. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, like, I've
Yeah.
learned at some people may say it's late, but some people may say you learn when you learn. But I learned, like, you can't move forward unless you let go of the past. And like at 26, like, I want to motivate the youth. You see what I'm saying? Like, and this adds to the story that I have to the kids, like the kids that look like you and I from urban areas. You see what I'm saying? Like, I want them to know, like, hey, you may be broken, you may be hurt, but you can rebuild. You have to trust the process.
Dude.
You see what I'm saying? Have faith and allow God to handle all situations. You see what I'm saying? Like, so
You're
I think
turning
that's
that
been
corner, bro. This
yeah,
is one of those moments, and you're one of the very few fortunate people who are turning that corner, and you get to have it documented, so that way you can teach others, and you can really show literally others. This is when it clicked for me. When I had those words, across my chest painted, that's when it clicked to me. When I was running with that spear through this artwork, it clicked. So, just being willing to go there is hella cool, dude. And once all this crazy stuff is done, man, if you ever want to make the drive up here to the city, bro, like,
look,
just
man, I'm
holler
always
at
up
me,
there.
man. Let's get up, dude.
Definitely.
I mean,
Last
get
thing,
your
if
ass
I
to New York.
can just add one thing,
100%.
I would recommend this process for anybody.
Sweet.
Towards the end, I made a statement to Rhonda, and I said, as long as I got you, there's no amount. I don't care about the money. And I genuinely meant that, because just one, from all the workshops that we went through, like that, you can't put a price on that. You see what I'm saying? That the things that I was able to overcome at that retreat are things that people fight and spend their whole lives trying to do. You see what I'm saying? Like, you can't put a price on that, on being better. You can't put a price on learning about yourself. Like I said, I've cried more in that show than I've cried my whole life. So I mean, it's just crazy. And I would recommend that show or a process like that for anybody. And I'm not gonna say only if you feel you're horny. I think anybody can utilize the things that we went through in that show and become better. You're gonna come out better one way or another. You see what I'm saying? Whether you were sexually frustrated or you were very sexually active or you're not, you're gonna be better in somehow, some way. So the show, the retreat, all in all, was just phenomenal. Yeah, it was phenomenal.
Man, dude, I'm telling you, this is what it is, dude. Being able to have this conversation and feeling the growth through this conversation, feeling what I'm saying? I mean, it just like, it works. It worked. It really did, man. So again, I'm leaving the door open, bro. I know you can't be walking through without gloves or a mask anytime soon, damn it.
Right.
But
look, I got mine right here.
That's what I'm saying.
Right here.
Hey, gang.
Gang. Right. Look,
there it is. But lastly, let's make sure that we are following the right Sharron on IG, because I know you're going live. I know you're really connecting with the community and with your fans and your new friends and family members. But make sure that you drop all the actuals right now, man, so we can make sure we're checking you out, dude.
Yeah, I'm on Instagram at Sharron Townsend Official. SHARRON Townsend Official. And like I said, man, I'm trying to respond back to all the comments, because it's been crazy. Like, people have been reaching out to me for motivational, like all of that, like for everything. Like, they just want help. So, man, as long as I can help, I want to help. I have a book on the way. It's called Sharron Townsend Naked: Triumph Through Tragedy. And it's basically, it sounds funny, naked. And people think, oh, naked, I'm always naked. But it's deeper than that. I'm shutting down all the barriers. I'm stripping down all the layers that people see, the facade, the materialistic stuff. And I'm letting people know who the real Sharron Townsend is. Like, what I went through that made me so broken. It wasn't just my ex cheating on me with my best friend. It was the way I was brought up in Camden. You see what I'm saying? I was homeless at one point with my family. Like, we know what it means to struggle. Like, it's deeper than that. You see what I'm saying? People just got the glimpse of stuff, but I'm putting it really out there for people to know, like, man, it's dark, but you can be better, and you determine like how your life turns out.
Well, let me tell you, dude, when all that stuff happens and starts to come to fruition, when the book starts to be, I'm hoping that this will be done. You make your way out this way to the studio, dude, and we'll reconnect,
definitely,
dog. For real.
Definitely.
I got you, man.
Yeah,
yo, Sharron, dude, tell the family, stay blessed, stay safe. I see you got the mask already. I'm gonna be tapping in more often on IG to check out your lives and stuff like that, bro. And yeah, man, no more face swaps. Is that your nephew with the face swap with the ventriloquist?
Yeah.
That's creepy, dog.
I got you.
Some of those face swaps are hella creepy, and I was like,